Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of Cigars and Crypto. I'm the host, the Chief, and this is Randy.
What's up? What's up?
And we are here to give you a basic informational video on cryptocurrency and what's coming at us financially. I want to thank Randy for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to chop it up and talk about the new asset class that is being formed right in our face right now. If you have questions, please send them to the chat. I'll try to get to them. This is our first episode, so please bear with us. But we just wanted to get online and run it down so that people can have a basic knowledge of cryptocurrency, digital assets, and what's going on in this space. There are a lot of people that are, and excuse me for moving around a lot, but like I said, it's the first ever episode. I'm trying to get set up. Somebody else will be joining me who has a large Facebook following, but he's not here right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started. But a lot of people don't understand, a lot of our people don't understand that this asset class is an emerging asset class that's new, and it's very similar to how the internet revolution started. The internet revolution started as far as people having personal computers in their household in the mid to late 90s. Something like that.
Yeah, for it to go mainstream.
Yeah. And believe it or not, there was a lot of money to be made, and there was a lot of value in that particular
market at the time.
Market. Right now, pertaining to the S curve for cryptocurrency, we are on the uptrend. It's picking up. It's being adopted by major institutions. You guys might have heard of a Bitcoin ETF. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But when you got institutions like central banks, money managers like BlackRock, Fidelity, that are venturing into the blockchain and in the crypto, it's something that's not going away. And it's something that we need to be aware of so that, it's just like the stock market. When the stock market started, a lot of people didn't know about, but with that being said, this is something that's emerging, and it's something that you can get in on now that won't potentially break the bank. You want to say anything?
Right. Yeah. We as people always talk about, we can never get ahead. We never get on the forefront of things. Well, this is something that we can actually get on the forefront and be spearheading to make money for one, but also be part of the new transition of money, of currency. Yeah. And, people, it's a lot of FUD going around, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about, it's going to go away, or it's fake, or I just don't understand it.
Or it's being used for something nefarious like money laundering or
drug dealing,
terrorism. That's all BS.
But, if you set aside all that and just take a leap of faith, a little chance. We sit here and spend money on bottles of alcohol, and when we go to the liquor store, take a little bit of that and stick it over into crypto and see what it do, because trust me, it's paying off. And I call him up all the time, like, man, did you see it go up? And he's I'm looking at
it right now.
Yeah, so yeah, just take a chance and see where it takes you. I mean, what else you got to do?
Over the screen and let us in. Oh, okay. I gotta let my family in, so let me I gotta get Gordon and them in.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. Go ahead and keep talking about. Basic.
Well, I'll tell them how we even got into it.
Yeah.
So me and Big Chief, we was sitting at work, and we just happened to be talking about crypto. I mean, it was all on the news back in 2021 during the peak of everything. And he's like, "You in crypto?" And I'm like, "Nah, not for real. I had bought some Shiba and some Doge, but I wasn't into utility tokens, the ISO 222 tokens and stuff like that." So no sooner than we're talking, something on the news comes on, like, if you invested $1,000 in this cryptocurrency, you're a millionaire today. And I looked at him like, you got to be kidding me. Are they listening to me? And so from there,
yeah, that was wild.
We kind of figured, like, the news, the media, they keep throwing us little nuggets about this technology that's coming out, but nobody's paying attention to it. We was just so wrapped up in our day-to-day living that we weren't really paying attention to it. And before you know it, different things about artificial intelligence. The dollar is going down. It's just so many things that started to happen in between that time frame that, I was like, man, there's something to this. I got to jump on it. I got to see where it's going to take me. So, that's what I did. I just started investing. I stopped drinking. And I took that vice and just converted it over to this. And trust me, it's paying off pretty good right now. It's a whole bunch more that I still have to learn as far as technology, the blockchain.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
It's just it's just a good learning experience for me to see something that I'm gonna be a part of, and my kids be a part of, and their kids in the future. Because, like they say, digital currency is going to be here.
Go ahead.
So we'll see how all this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, all of the stuff that we hear, all of the stuff that we hear about, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do the other. That's all something that's to keep us as individuals out. Because think about it, the big banks, the financial institutions, world governments, the wealthy, they want to stay wealthy, and they don't want the average man to be, a part of this. Excuse me. So, I mean, with that being said, it's very similar to every emerging asset class that has the potential for people to gain generational wealth or any type of wealth. They're going to try to keep it to themselves. They're going to try to, limit the exposure to it by scaring people. And, if you get scared, then that's something that you have to deal with as an individual. Me, I saw that, somebody approached me back in 2010 about Bitcoin, and I had absolutely no idea about Bitcoin. Now, if I would have got in 2010, they approached me and said, hey, Grizz, let's put $100 on Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is trading at what, about $52,000, close to $53,000 per token. If I would have put $100 in back then, and it was a few dollars, if that. Yeah. Imagine the amount of wealth that I would have today. I mean, it's unbelievable the things that individuals and institutions will do to keep the average man out of certain things. And that's something that, you just have to, there they are. That's something that you just have to deal with as a person. So,
it was 2 cents in 2010.
Okay, so it was 2 cents, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Aaron, can you hear me? Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I clicked you in. I can see you. I can't hear you, and you can't hear me, right? You can't hear me? All right, so let's see. Edit video settings, change avatar, invite guests. So that's something that let me send it to you again. Send it again. There we go. So that's him?
Yeah.
What's going on, dog?
What's up, man? I had to take care of it, but y'all know my story.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's see. So I can't hear her. I can see her. I've sent her another link. I'm gonna slide over so you can jump in. Oh, you good, man. Go ahead. All right, sorry about that, folks. As with anything, when you first start something, it's going to be some quirks. So please, this is we doing this on the fly. This is not something that we've been rehearsing or practicing. You getting the realest of the real, and it's something that it's coming from us to you, and we're doing it because we feel that people should know about this asset class. When you hear people talk about cryptocurrency, what they're really talking about, well, it's called cryptocurrency. It's dealing with cryptography, but what they're talking about really is digital assets. Now, with us being in it for the amount of time that we've been in it for a couple of years, we've found out that we want to invest in tokens or cryptocurrency that has value, has some sort of real world value. What is it going to do? Is it going to provide liquidity? Is it going to provide interoperability? Or is it going to secure some type of protocol? Because really what you're doing, you're investing in a protocol. Mm-hmm. Okay. This whole thing is revolving around the third iteration of the internet. There was Web 1. Right now we are in Web 2, and we have our feet in Web 3. Web 3 is going to be the internet of value, to where there's going to be value for almost anything. They're
houses,
going to, houses, cars. They're going to
license plates.
Yeah, they're going to tokenize everything. You might have heard of NFTs. NFTs are going to, right now they're little JPEGs and pictures, but they're going to be when you go to buy a house, it's going to be in the form of a NFT token, and it's going to be on the blockchain. The blockchain is a unit of account, and it's immutable. You can come on in. It's immutable, and it's something that can't be changed, and it's something that Can you hear us?
And you can hear us. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we can hear you too. There you go. I want to welcome in Aaron and Gordon Simon of Simon Family Investments. They were very pivotal, or whatever that word is, in getting me started in cryptocurrency. And
what word? What was the word?
Like just giving me the information that I needed and shoving me, like pushing me along, saying, "Hey, this is something that you need to invest in." We used to work together. Me and that good brother used to work together. All three of us worked together. Mm-hmm. We were firefighters in our city that we live in. We live in Cincinnati, and knowledge is to be shared amongst each other when they get it. So what they did, they hollered at me and they told me, look, this is something that is going to have some value to it, and it's something that you should look at. So my story, I'm gonna go back to my story. What I did after I didn't get into Bitcoin in 2010, I cannot remember the fella's name that asked me to go in to put $100 on Bitcoin. But after that, I would hear about it here and there. I wasn't paying no attention to it. But I would say back in 2021, I think it was, Gordon. It was 2021. I kept hearing about, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. And, the universe will speak to you. Something told me like, hey, look, why don't you look into it? So I looked into it, and, I'm frugal. I got a family. I don't want to, have my discretionary income going to something that I really didn't know about. So, I got into a meme tokens, GBE new. And, I was like, well, man, if it goes to a penny, oh, man, we'll be rich, But I didn't understand the value of the protocol. So I did some research, and that's what I advise you to do, is do your own research, okay? This stuff is readily available on the internet. Do your own research, and look into, you can sit right here, Terry, and look into these different protocols. Come on, man.
No, he asked me about a link
Oh,
outside.
okay. I sent it to him and look into these.
Okay.
Look into these different protocols that's going in, that's out here, because it's going to be value in the protocol itself. So I looked into it, and you know, one of the ones that I looked into that I thought was going to have good value is a token made by Ripple, the company Ripple, and it's called XRP, as you can see on my shirt. Now, what that is a liquidity token. It provides liquidity between any asset. Put any asset in, gold, silver, US dollar, francs, pounds, and it'll do the math, spit out whatever you want on the other end. Mexican peso, ruble, whatever. When I saw that, that the banks were actually testing the protocol, we're actually using it in some countries. The universe told me, like, look, this is something that's going to be viable, and it's all pertaining to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the grandfather of this digital asset class. Ethereum is the father, if you want to, or you know, mother, grandmother, and mother, however you want to phrase it. But those two tokens were the first tokens to gain notoriety and value. And then there were other tokens that was made. And a lot of people don't understand that the token that I invest in, and it's not my biggest holding, but I believe in it, XRP, which is made by Ripple, was created in 2012. So it's been out for a long time, but it's been in the top 10 of this asset class for its entire existence. It hasn't went anywhere, and it's not going to go anywhere, because it is when you got financial institutions, central banks, regular banks, world governments utilizing something, there has to be some type of value in it. And if you look at it clear-eyed and get all of your you gotta push aside your tribalism. When you know a lot of the hardcore Bitcoiners, you know, it's Bitcoin and everything else is a shit coin. That's not, and I see you, Gordon, but that's not a reality. That's not a realistic way of looking at it. If it wasn't, if it was like that, then the SEC would have won their case against Ripple, and Ripple would have went away. XRP would have went away, but it didn't. They won the case because governments, banks, and institutions are using it because it is a very viable token. You don't vet a token by taking it through the SEC without it not having some value to it. Prime example, Amazon. When Amazon started getting big, guess who it was sued by? The SEC. I mean, I think Microsoft might have went through it. Other big institutions that are very viable, that have $1 trillion market caps, have went through the same thing. We are at the precipice of being in the asset class in its infancy. The train is moving though. And the reason why we are on here trying to get things across to our audience or our audiences is because we as Black people are always chasing stuff. It's time for us to get on something and let it drive us to the destination that we need to be in. Instead of us chasing after the train, me and Randy and the Simons, we're on the train and we got our hands out. The train is moving and it's starting to pick up speed. There's people that's running, and those are the people that is sparking interest in it. And we got our hand out. You grab my hand, I'm gonna pull you up. I'm gonna give you information, but you still have to do your own research. What you have to understand as well, this is not financial advice. Anything we say is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. None of us are financial advisors. We just believe in protocols, and we see value in protocols because there are people that make markets move. They make markets move that believe in the same protocols. And 2 + 2 is equal 4 as long as you've known it. And if you don't think that is, then you need to either go back to math class or you need to get up out of the space. But this is something that's going to be very viable in the long run. Gordon and Aaron, if you would please introduce yourselves and give some information on your background and and Bitcoin and whatever other assets that you want to talk about.
So we are the Simon Family Investment Ventures. My name is Aaron. You're hearing me call him Gordon, but many of you in the space know him as Simon. We are the first family of Bitcoin, and our assets are family oriented, right? So everything we do as a tribe. We have 4 sons. Obviously, 2 out of 4 of the sons are active in this space because they're the oldest. But we've had a Bitcoin, I should say my husband has had a Bitcoin journey since
14.
14. Back in the cowboy days, paper wallets, y'all. I think there was a Kool-Aid ridiculous on one of our paper wallets on the dining room table. We're still married. We still married and divorced. We over it. We're also heavy into precious metals. So you would hear, if you guys are familiar with our content, you hear us talk a lot about silver and gold. We do have other tokens. We do have XRP. We have Hedera Hashgraph. We have, what am I forgetting?
Well, I have Casper because of my children. I have Casper.
That's Junior, the 13-year-old.
I still have Solana, Cardano. I still have those. I have H-bar.
I said Hedera Hashgraph.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So H-bar.
Yeah. Okay. It's Ethereum, I guess we got to say.
Oh, yeah, we have Ethereum.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin and precious metals is the largest holding in our investment portfolio.
No, I think you summed it up very well.
But that's our journey. We've known we know the Chief for 20 years.
Man, I know the Chief long time, man.
It's coming up on 20 years.
Yeah, I tell him the story the first time I met him and stuff like that. But we was it was a 2-alarm fire over there somewhere in the back of Avondale. I was there, coming through, and then we, putting the hose away and stuff. And Chief was like, "What's up, Thundercat?" He didn't even know my name. "What's up, young Thundercat?" I'm like, "What's up?" Yeah, it was you, Vaughn, and DK right there when I first met you guys. But yeah, that's our journey, man. And Chief is a longtime friend, man.
Longtime family friend. He's basically family, him and the First Lady.
Yeah.
And Randy as well.
Yeah, Randy. I mean, the first time I met Randy since I'm here, and we went to the Kroger. We was going to the Kroger. I was at 32s. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting off the line. Yeah, we was going to the Kroger down there in Mitchell. And, y'all was coming out after you finished. It was you. It was... Lieutenant Lindsay, Cecil, and Big Mike Walker. Yeah, that's where I first met them, man. So I know Randy and them in person a long time, man. Long time, good friend.
And now we are together in success.
Yep.
So that is the journey right now. We are capitalizing on the opportunities, or as we like to call it, the assets and arbitrage in the space.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and one other thing, man, just I'm not to get off line, but when I first met Randy, he thought he had bigger guns than me. He got bigger guns than me, dog. Come on now.
You silly, man.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good. My guns was bigger than all they shit, so it's all good. But back then, I was in a lobby. Now I'm just a mature gentleman. He's got a little gut, but that knowledge is coming to fruition. And I want to thank Simon Family Investments. I'm sorry, guys, for putting me on. I mean, they had a show a couple years ago that I jumped on once I started getting really into this journey, and we had a lot of fun. But I learned a lot from them because they are very knowledgeable people. You know, in this world that we in, we can do anything that we want to if we put our mind to it. And right now, we're trying to get you guys to put your mind to cryptocurrency/digital assets. Anytime you want to get into a token, you want to look at what the token was. And like I said before, when we first started, and I told them this before y'all was able to get on, Simons, you want to look at what the protocol does, because this is, you know, basically just software. It's not an actual coin. Now you can buy coins. I don't know if it's going to have the same value, but it's not an actual coin. This is basically protocols. It's software, okay? And it's algorithms, and it's something that has value. You want to understand what it does. Does it have a store value? Does it provide liquidity? Does it provide interoperability? And does it provide security? Does it secure the blockchain or the digital ledger that it is on? Does it provide interoperability so that one blockchain can talk to a digital ledger and they can transact and do other things with it? Does it provide liquidity? Can you put in one thing of value? It does the equation, and then on the other end, it comes out with another equal thing of value. Those are the things that are going to be very prevalent in the very near future, along with AI. Now, y'all, Simons, y'all gotta understand that he really is pushing me now towards the AI thing, and you know, because he's been, you know, once I sparked the interest with him, he's been, you know, throwing these tokens at me and looking at the protocols, because we all are knowledgeable individuals, we educated individuals, and we trust each other to know that we're not going to mess with anything that doesn't really have any value. Okay. And a lot of the stuff that's coming up, and this train is moving fast, this asset class is moving fast. A lot of things that's coming up is going to have a ton of value if you can just hang in there, educate yourself on it, and then use your discretionary income to invest in it. It's similar to when the stock market started years and years ago. I don't know exactly how old the stock market is, but it's very old. But when it first started, it was unregulated, like this asset class is. Right now, this asset class is going through regulation, and that is going to bring in the maximum value. Once it's regulated, the big players are going to step in. Financial institutions, banks, world governments, they don't want to put their capital into something that is not regulated by some type of entity like FinCEN or the Futures Commodities Exchange Commission, the CFTC, Commodities Futures and Exchange Commission. I said it wrong. But those governmental entities and those financial entities are going to regulate the space. It's just a matter of time, because they see the value in it, and if they didn't see the value in it, they would not be fooling with it. I mean, let's just keep it real. When have you known a wealthy individual or an institution that has a lot of wealth and value? When have you known them to put their capital against something that is bad capital? It doesn't happen. Does not happen.
My thing with artificial intelligence is the media, the news, Netflix, they keep throwing out these nuggets for us. And if you listen closely, they give you a little nugget to be like, let me look into this company. Does this company have tokens or something that I can invest in? And then you know it once, and that's what I'm saying. When you do your research, you got to do your research. Once you hear these nuggets in the media, in the news, they'll tell you like, oh, this company just came out with this artificial intelligence robot or something. And all of a sudden you look it up and it's like their tokens are like 0.008 cent. And it's like, if they saying this token is going to go up to $20, why wouldn't I invest the below the penny price to buy it? So it's a lot of little technical things that you have to do when you get into this space to say, okay, you buy low, you sell high. Or you could be a long-term holder like myself and just wait till, this stuff runs up drastically, 300, 400%. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But to listen to the nuggets that we see on TV, whether it be during Super Bowl commercials or whether it be on the news or, just what you hear on the streets, people talking. They know it's there, but they just don't know how to invest in it. And so I think this show will people to be like, oh, okay, let me start up a Coinbase account. Let me start up a Robinhood account, whichever, exchange you like to use. I don't know. But just to take that leap, like I was saying earlier, to get into it. Somebody sit here and say, oh, such and such got a new liquor out. We go run to the store and get that.
Yeah, run to the liquor store. Gotta get that Douce. When that Douce can, we're gonna give me some Douce.
Right, but we need to just start taking these leaps of faith and saying, let me go ahead and create an account. A lot of people are afraid, oh, I don't want to just show my driver's license or something. They already got your ID in 30 other spots around town that you don't even know about. Yeah. You go to the grocery store, they already got all your information. From your credit card to what street you live on. Mm-hmm. The algorithm, how you go shopping. So, I mean, if we just start putting aside our differences and start investing in ourselves, and yes, that includes putting our identity out there on some of these exchanges and wallets, you'll go a far way. You'll go a long way.
Yeah. What he's talking about is, there's a lot of people out here that always think that the black helicopter is circling over their house and shit. We have given our data and we have given our information away a long, long, long time ago. Mm-hmm. If you're in the United States and you think you have true freedom, you're absolutely wrong. And if you think I'm wrong about that, all you have to do is look up the what was that act after 9/11 that they the terrorist it was Congress
Homeland Security, the Patriot Act.
Look up the Patriot Act and see how much freedom you really have. You have to understand that when exactly you ain't my man. I'm sorry, y'all. This is Terry, and I'll let him introduce himself in a second. Y'all got to understand. People have to understand. What we think is freedom is not really freedom. We're under the guise of it, and it's been given up a long time ago. They got your data. You're on the internet, whether you know it or not. If you look yourself up under the right software programs, you'll see your whole life story. Right. You see your whole life story. So when it comes to these investing in this asset class and these tokens, if you do not want to do KYC, KYC is an acronym for Know Your Customer. The big institutions and the exchanges, they are going to require that. You're going to have to put your ID on, upload your ID into that exchange. You're going to have to do other things to about your address and other things so that you can prove to them you are who you are, because regulation is coming, and that is the beginning of regulation. So if you want to,
and I would like to say,
go ahead.
I would like to say, as you're talking about KYC, if you do it strategically, the way that you set it up with your family, you don't have to. For example, of course, we are here in Mexico. We do the KYC. I do it through Aaron. Mm-hmm. In the real world, I'm a ghost. They don't know I exist. Mm. So you can structure it like that if need be, right? Nobody knows who I am anymore, right? They know Aaron. We put everything in Aaron in the front for her, so you can structure it in the right way where you don't have to do the KYC. And I'm just saying that's just a way I was trying to maneuver to get off the grid. if you want to get off the grid. If you don't want to get off the grid, you do what you have to do. But I wanted to get off the grid. I don't want people to know who I am. And I always put things under her name and then now under Sean's name. And, it's just a way we try to maneuver. And then, whenever she's ready, she wants to.
Yep.
They living in Mexico?
Yeah, they live in Mexico.
What part of Mexico y'all live in? Can you hear me?
It's a city called Ixtlahuaca de Rayon. It's outside of Toluca, and it's about an hour and a half away from Mexico City.
Got you. Okay, thank you.
So I got a question for y'all, because I've never experienced a bull market, a bull run. What can I expect? Is it like total chaos, like they all say?
Oh, boy,
Go ballistic. You hear all the YouTubers and the hypesters. This stuff is it like that, or is it going to gradually go up? And then you're like, oh man, I got $100,000 in my wallet. You know what I'm saying? Is it like that? Or you know what I'm saying? What can we really expect?
Yeah, it's like that. And the thing is, if you can stay in tune with people who you, I guess you would trust analysis on certain levels, you got to take profits, right? You got to have long time, what they call hodlers, but you got to have profits because it'll drop way back down. This is my third bull run. And I'm like, okay, I know to take profits. I know one thing about Bitcoin is at that all-time high, you got to be ready to take profits, because if it gets rejected at the all-time high, then it'll go back down. And you have to know that about all the coins that you have, whatever time highs may be, because that's a strong resistance. When you do technical analysis, that's strong resistance points, all-time highs. You got to break through, because once you break through the all-time high, there is no ceiling. So, but if it gets rejected at the all-time high, then there'll be a push down. So that's why you just got to be prepared when you see these whatever assets you have going towards all-time highs. Be ready to take some profits. You might want to keep some for the long term, but take off some money, man, for yourself, and you can run it back into something else. And that's why we talk about precious metals, because you can just run it back into gold, silver, and kind of store it and save it
and stabilize your investment. Because Bitcoin, as great as it is, it's considered volatile, highly volatile. So you got this, what they would consider risky investment. You take your profits and then maybe run it back into something a little bit more stable. And for us, that's precious metals. It could be something else for other people, but that's some of the expectation you should have for a bull run.
And then also remember, Bitcoin is the best. What do we call it? How'd you call it?
What, the highest performing?
Yeah, the highest performing asset of all time. So Bitcoin is something you could sit on long term, but about these pullbacks. I mean, I've been through 3 pullbacks, and they're brutal. They're brutal, man. But I don't think now at close to $1 trillion, if not $1 trillion market cap, and they got a lot of large capital invested, that you'll get those. Me and Chief talked about that. These 90% pullbacks, 80% pullbacks. So you be a little safer in Bitcoin,
right?
But this is something that you have to manage. And especially if you have large capital invested, it's something you got to manage really, really, really carefully.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got to run around. It's
all good. He's exactly right when he's talking about this asset class. This is one of the most volatile asset classes, or it is the most volatile asset class in existence right now. Okay, but when you look at this asset class, you have to look at it subjectively, because, like I keep going back to, the stock market before it was regulated was highly volatile. The internet revolution in the 90s to the 2000s, it was highly volatile. If you look at the S curve, which is a chart that graphs it grabs the participation in that asset class. It was volatile, and then all of a sudden it just shot up, and it stayed up because it was something that, one, became regulated, and two, people saw value in it, and they kept building on top of protocols, and they kept building on top of things that are inside that asset class. So, you know, if you kind of skittish, if you are I'm keeping it real. If you scared and you think your $1,000, if that means more to you than making a little bit of money, then keep your $1,000 and maintain your household. If you don't have the stomach for this, then you shouldn't get in it, because, like he said, I was talking to the Simons a few months ago. It was last summer. Bitcoin went to an all-time high of 69,000 per token. Then over a couple of years, pulled back 90-something%. So it went down to about 15,000 something. And guess what happened? Me and this guy got in.
Right.
And the whole time, my man was talking to me like, "Oh man, I hope it goes back up." And I said, "It's gonna go back up." I said, "I hope it stay back down so I can get in where I fit in, and then it'll go back up." And we're at 53, almost 53,000 right now. And we are starting the bull run next month, or excuse me, 2 months in April. In the middle of April, Bitcoin has this thing called the halving, to where the hash rate gets cut in half. The miners that do the computations, the computations, of the equations to mine the Bitcoin is going to get cut in half. So if they're able to mine 8, it's going to get cut in half to 4. Okay, and that goes to
So
supply and demand. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that doesn't have a large supply but has a larger demand, if you don't know what's going to happen with that, then you really shouldn't be in this space. It's going to go up. I mean, it's going to go up. That's the problem. Go ahead, Gordon. Go ahead.
Oh, and just to be specific, I think right now we're mining at 6.25 per.
Yeah.
And so it's going to go down to 3.125 per block on this halving that's going to come up in April. And just for the people, Bitcoin mined is expected to be in the year 2140. So what we have to do as far as Bitcoin is we have to get Bitcoin now while we can, as we try to build generational wealth, right? In 2140, when they said the last one, now you can't mine it anymore. All you can do is trade for it. You want to already have it, so you can trade for it. Yeah, I believe. Double check me in the chat, man. 3.25. I think it's 3.125. What's happening to?
Yeah, I think you're correct. And a lot of people got the misconception, like I did when I first got in. I thought that you had to have, you got to get that one Bitcoin. And, it would be good if you had $50,000 to drop on it, which you shouldn't drop that whole thing on it. You should dollar cost average and tier your way into it. But if you got, let's say you're out there and you got $10,000 and you want to put it in something that's going to be viable for the next 20 something years. And you know that, and you understand that this nascent asset class, okay, that's in its infancy, will mature. And when it matures, it's going to mature on an uptrend. If you only got $10,000, I would put at least 25%, at least 25% of that $10,000 into Bitcoin. And the reason why is because let's say you put 25% in it and then it pulls back, but you keep dollar cost averaging. When it goes back up, you could potentially double, or depending upon how high it goes up, you could maximize your profits on that, is what I'm trying to say. Okay?
Yeah,
so don't think
and that's a great thing that you said, because
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that could be. No, I'm saying that's a great thing you said, because you're talking about risk assessment. And, if you had, like you said, 10,000, you know, the amount of risk that you can take and put towards there, and you have to, you know, with the rest of your capital, you know, diverted, right?
Mhm.
And so, but that's a great point, yeah, people, because you know it's not a casino. We don't want to be gambling out here and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right. And one thing I want to say for the people out there, you know, you listen to like, you know, these top tier Bitcoin OGs, Raoul Pal, stuff like that, Lynn Alden, they talk about Bitcoin parity, where each Satoshi will eventually $1. And so we're looking for those days.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Y'all be real crazy.
So
Yeah.
let me ask y'all this. So with the ETF coming out, how do y'all feel about the supply? Say, for instance, you know, this bull run, I sell my Bitcoin because it reached another all-time high. There's going to be more Bitcoin out there considering these ETFs came out? Or do you think, you know, they're going to be buying them considering they owe all these people who they gave ETFs to? You know, they got to have it in the account to assess for how many ETFs they sold.
I think I'll put.
Oh man,
I'll put something on it, and then I want you to jump in, or Simon. I think, to be honest with you, the ETF is a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a double-edged sword, and the reason why is because companies like BlackRock,
right,
they have amassed over $5 billion of Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin at an alarming rate. They're snatching it up. They're doing it like any other asset class because they got trillions of dollars under management. Last time I checked, they had over $10 trillion under management, okay? And with these ETFs, which is, ETF is an acronym, y'all, for Exchange Traded Fund, or they might refer to it as an ETP. It's an exchange traded product. When a company like BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, when they invest in these things, they are throwing millions, if not billions of dollars at it, and they are buying whole tokens. They are buying it up so that they can provide that liquidity in that asset for their investors that are wanting to invest in this asset class, but don't want to have, they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to have a digital wallet. They don't want to have a hardware wallet. They don't want to keep it on an exchange. They don't want to have to manage it. Like people like us four, we have done our research and we have the ability to purchase an asset, a cryptocurrency asset or a digital asset. We can hold it either in a hot wallet, which is a software wallet, or a cold wallet, which is a hardware wallet. And then we can keep it there. And if we need it, we'll take it off there, put it on an exchange or a broker to where we can get liquidity and get, you know, either USD or some other asset for that. When it comes to BlackRock and these big institutions, to be honest with you, a lot of people think it's a good thing because it's going to bring a ton of currency into the asset class. It's going to be cool at first because of scarcity out there. But what happens with that asset when they have the majority of it? Because to be honest with you, asset managers like one second, asset managers like BlackRock and Fidelity, they do not have the average person's best interest in mind. Flat out, full stop. Now, if you're a wealthy individual, and you have been letting them manage your funds, then yes, they're going to have your interest in mind because they get a portion of that investment because they are actually doing the investing in that token. So like if you buy an ETF that has Bitcoin in it, you don't actually own Bitcoin. You own that ETF that has the Bitcoin in it. Right. The BlackRock owns the Bitcoin.
Correct.
Okay.
They have to, for every ETF, they have to have that in the bank.
Yeah, right? They have to have that value they have to have that value on either a brokerage thing or they have to have it in a wallet.
So let's go in right there. So what we have here with these ETFs, you're going to have similar as your precious metals. where you have rehypothecation, right? You see rehypothecation, especially in the silver market, but it's also in the gold market, which is they can sell these out, but they got to have and pay you out. And what they're doing is they basically, when you stand for delivery, as we call it in the precious metals market, you have to be able to pay out the contract, right? COMEX will have a contract with you, and people don't stand for delivery. They usually just take the what do you call it? The profit, the
profits.
Yeah, the profits. So what they may be doing is having people trading Bitcoin and not standing for the delivery of the Bitcoin,
Yes.
but just taking the profits
And that's what makes it attractive to them,
Mhm.
right? Like, we're attracted to the asset, the intrinsic value of the asset, the financial value of the asset. They are interested in how can we flip it, and keep flipping it without having to give up the actual value of it. So that's basically what the ETF is going to be. If there's one proverbial Bitcoin, I don't know where our stuff is, but if there's one proverbial Bitcoin, they can have a contract out to 25 investors, all thinking that they have that one and they don't.
Yeah, and that's the rehypothecation that we have dealt with in the precious metals sector. And because they say Bitcoin is gold 2.0, they're just doing the same thing. They're rehypothecate it, and you're just selling it here for fiat. If everybody just stood 10 toes down and said we want our Bitcoin, you would crash the ETF.
And they know that people aren't going to do that. They know that some of the corporations that are involved feel like the ETF is less risky than them doing it themselves on the exchange. So they're exploiting that. And once you see, corporations, especially like BlackRock, with the real estate and all the other stuff they have their diabolical fingers in, you do have to look at the lack of transparency in what their transactions are.
Yeah, and like he said, the chief, getting exposure to Bitcoin through things like Grayscale Bitcoin and MicroStrategies, and you can name these other companies where you don't own a Bitcoin, but you have access to it.
And there lies the exploitation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the trick bag.
Yeah.
So do y'all think, this goes for anybody, that after this bull run, there will be like a plateau, since the ETFs are like, they're no longer going to go down to 15,000? Do you think it's just going to plateau out, and they can rise, but they ain't going to fall below, a certain level with these ETFs?
Okay.
Anybody?
Yeah. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay, real quick. From what research that I've done, this is my train of thought. Now, I don't know nothing from nothing. I'm not an expert. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I just have a hypothesis. I think that when regulation comes into play, when either the CFTC, the commodities futures, CFTC, when CFTC, SEC, and all these other acronym organizations regulate this nascent asset class, I think that it will have some type of some of these assets, not all, because let's be honest, there are over 23,000 cryptocurrency tokens in the market, in the cryptocurrency market right now. Right now, the cryptocurrency market is $2 trillion, okay? All of those cryptocurrency tokens are not going to survive because those cryptocurrency tokens, some of those cryptocurrency tokens don't do anything, okay? Is it a store of value? Does it provide liquidity? Does it have interoperability? Does it provide security for whatever protocol that we are looking to invest in? Whether it's AI, whether it's blockchain, metaverse, whatever. I think once that comes in, it's going to level out. And the reason why I think that is because with the stock exchange, with the bond market, you do not see 90%. You don't see 90% swings.
Right.
You don't see 75. You might see a 50% swing, but you don't see 75 or more percent swings in those asset
Well, that's
classes.
if they split. Who knows it? I mean, that's
Well, yeah, that's if they
Yeah.
split.
So yeah.
Lord.
Go ahead, Grit. Go
Gordon, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, to answer his question, yes, as you see Bitcoin go over that $1 trillion market cap, you will see less volatility because you see bigger players jumping in, like you say, BlackRock, ARK Investments, it's been MicroStrategy. So you'll see it'll level out. Yeah, it'll level out in the volatility. You won't see those 90% swings because of all the capital that's been put into it. And that's a good thing. You want to see it over that $1 million market, $1 trillion market cap. It's catching up. It's almost close to silver's market cap, which is a money that is 6,000 years old. Older than that. Okay. Well, then once it catches up with silver, you will see more people coming in there, and they want to see the, what do you call those places? The market, the family, because we used to, she
Family
used to work. She's a big family offices. Once they start going in, boom, and you got the people we've already mentioned and talked about. The volatility it'll smooth out. It'll smooth out, and you won't have a problem with putting in your investments. And I would like to, if you guys, I would like to, and I'm just saying, I would like to do a show about the retirement and who keeps retirement accounts, because there's a lot of bad stuff going on with those accounts, the pension accounts, and we need to talk about that. But I ain't going to derail into that. I'm answering this question, but yeah, you will have a lot of safety in Bitcoin, and then if you want to take some of your profits, or some of your free flowing extra money, then you can go to other places where you can get some real return.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I apologize.
Don't apologize.
Hey, my brother, that is something I'm very interested in, is taking some of my retirement out, as you just said. So if you can get with Chief, I want to make sure I have an opportunity to watch when you do that show, if you don't mind.
I'll send you the link.
You send me the link?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, when it comes to retirement accounts, okay, I'm in a me and Randy are in a retirement account, okay. And did you get what I tried?
Yeah.
Okay. We're in a retirement account, which is it's basically a crypto IRA, but this crypto IRA deals also in gold and silver, and the name of it is iTrust Capital.
Right.
And y'all, I just want to let y'all know, the First Lady is about to dive in it. She's going to grab her shit and she's going to move it over into it. Okay.
Okay.
And I know I see you smiling.
Good.
About that, but when it comes to this asset class, there are ways for you to invest in it for a longer term. So now let me explain what iTrust Capital is. You brought up that very good question. Terry asked, I got my retirement account. I wanted to do something with it. You can roll over a portion of your retirement account into an account called iTrust Capital, where you can invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM, Polkadot, Lana, Ethereum, all of those assets, plus gold and silver.
Really?
And you can hold USD as well. And with these individual retirement accounts, which is an IRA, you can have a traditional one, whether you get taxed at the back end, or you can have a Roth, which you get taxed at the front end when you first put your capital into it. I have both. I'm speaking from experience. I put some of my retirement money into this crypto IRA, and I am seeing great gains in it. Now, it's just like with everything else, it's gonna go down in value, but the stock market goes down in value. Okay, there's going to be times to where when the market pulls back, it pulls back. It's healthy. It happens. For everybody out there that's listening, whether you're listening now or you're listening in the future, when you invest in a retirement account or you invest in the stock market, you invest in the cryptocurrency market, you're gonna have gains, and then you're gonna have pullbacks, retracements. That is healthy. Every single asset, whether it is a stock, bond, ETF, or whatever, it does not stay constant. It goes up, it goes down. You want to invest into the protocols or the stocks, bonds, or whatever it is that have staying power. Does it do something?
So let me ask them, can I answer something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to answer something because the good brother, Terry is your name. Terry?
My brother, yeah.
Yeah, Terry and Randy, and as Grizz, I wanted to talk about something about the retirement income that you put into, the investments get front run. So this is a long story. They get front run, right? So what they do is they put the money in an account, right? And they make a bad investment. They leave it towards what they call, because they got teachers union, fire department, police department, and they make those the bad trades. And then the people who are on the top who know each other get the good trades. And that's why retirement income is so bad in these different, especially if you have like a union job or something like that, or a state job, something, and they front run the investments. And that's what's bad about investing as a state worker or a city worker or a federal worker. And so they front run, as I was talking to Terry, if that's where your money is, they put the investments in the bad part for people like us, and then they let the people who know each other get the good investments. And it goes all the way back to having black boxes on the floor at the New York Stock Exchange, and people are trying to invest through their computers. They don't have the speed. When you go really down and dig to it, the speed of how the investments are being held out, because they're going out 7-8 digits behind that decimal point, right? You think you got a price that you sold at and it was okay, but somebody else got a different price a few decimal points out. But if you have a whole bunch of, right? Executions, then they got the win.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna leave it to my wife.
And that would be why an iTrust Capital, as the chief was explaining it,
Mm-hmm.
is attractive in this particular space. Mm-hmm. So Terry, if I were you, I would get with the chief offline, but you can contact iTrust Capital right now, appointment only. And the waiting list is extremely long, but it's worth the consultation. However, Grizz is doing it front and back end, he'll have a more comprehensive, that was a big pause, front and back end. Grizz would have, the chief, we keep calling you Grizz, the chief would have a more comprehensive understanding on how it works and really kind of talk you through it before you did your actual consultation with them. Okay. The only disadvantage for someone who's younger is 59 and a half.
59 and a half.
So, I'm relatively much younger than that. It's something that I do want to do, but then I also kind of sort of don't like, I just turned 43, so I don't like the idea of them holding my money for that long because anything could happen. Mm-hmm. And it's a significant portion of the retirement. I'm sorry?
I said that's a great point.
It is.
Yeah. Right. So, you have to take some of those factors into consideration. If you're a lot closer to that, then it's probably a lot more attractive. Mm-hmm. Simon and I, we keep going back and forth with it. We've had our consultations, but like I literally just turned 43 2 weeks ago. So the idea of having to wait till 60 to touch such a huge nest egg in the retirement accounts that I have acquired just over the course of my employment. I don't know. The jury's still out. But just on paper, iTrust Capital, I think it's a fantastic utility.
Mhm.
And it is something that I think, offline, definitely take some time to sit down with the chief and let him, kind of walk you through some of the benefits, the structures, the processes that they go through, how you, I think it's $2,500 down payment or something.
Well, it's changed now.
Let me stop y'all real quick. All right. You're Aaron, you are not correct about some of the things that you're saying about iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital, the minimum that you can put in right now, they changed it. And stop laughing.
They changed it, okay.
Stop laughing because she didn't know. I know because I'm in it.
No, I'm just laughing because you're a dart thrower. I know how it goes.
I ain't
All
a
right.
dart thrower. Erin understands. She understands I'm not a dart thrower. I'm just giving her the.
No, it's okay because I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what I thought it was, but they changed it.
They changed it, and I know you what. You ain't got. It's all good. Me and you right here. We know. Okay, so $1,000 investment. You can create an account.
Oh, they dropped it.
You can create an account on iTrust Capital today, right now. $1,000 investment. Whether you have cash, you can use your debit card to fund it. You don't have to roll anything over.
Mm-hmm.
You can fund it with whatever capital that you want to fund it with. If you fund it with a debit card, 1 to 3 days, you're good because it clears the money, puts it into your.
Now I did know that. I was just saying I have a significant amount of accounts that they hold in my 401k and stuff at work, and I wanted to roll that.
I get it.
That's what we were talking about. That's what
What I'm trying to let you know. Let's say you got $100,000 in that retirement account. You ain't got to roll the whole damn thing over. You can roll over $25K.
I do know that.
Roll over $1,000. You can roll.
I know that.
Whatever
I know all that. But like I said, no.
I'm sorry.
I do know that.
Once it clears, you are your own home office. You go in there and you invest in whatever you want to invest in. Just like the other day, I was talking, last month, I was talking to Randy about it. AVAX, I'm going to give you an example. AVAX went up. I pulled some capital out, reinvested it into some XLM. Okay? AVAX went back down. I sold something else on that platform, got some more AVAX because AVAX went back up. It's going back up. I mean, it's you are your own home office. You control it. They don't control it. That's why I like it, because if I mess it up, then it's on me. I ain't got to call nobody and say, okay, well, can I do this? Can I do that and the other? And then a couple of days later, this, that, and the other happens. It happens right then and there when you make that trade. It settles within a few seconds. You got that capital in whatever fund or whatever token you want it in, and then it's there. Okay, it's different. You were thinking about last year or the year before when it comes to the $2,500 and this, that, and the other. Now, when it comes pertaining to the 59.5, all IRAs, it doesn't matter whether it's a traditional, whether it's a.
I know.
50,
so here's
to
my
me,
thinking.
just real quick. To me, it's long term. I'm 55. I'll be 55 next month. Okay, 4 years, the value is going to be exponential. Okay, if you are a 43-year-old young lady like you are right now, and you put a certain amount out, you roll a certain amount over, that certain amount, and you already know this because you're in this class, that certain amount that you roll over is going to be exponential. But this iTrust Capital for me is for my grandson, and then my other grandson, and then my granddaughter, and then everything from those 3 grandkids back to me is going to make my family generationally wealthy. So it's all perspective how you look at it. I look at it like this is a long-term play. Now, short-term play is trading are hodling for a certain amount of time until the halving or the bull run. You take your profits, whether you tier it at percentages. So, like, say, if I want to tier my XLM, if I want to tier my XLM at, okay, if it goes up to its all-time high, sell 5%. If it goes up to the 2.36, which is a Fibonacci level, then I want to sell 10%. If it goes up to the golden ratio,
Run it back. What is 2.6? What is a 2.6 Fibonacci level?
I don't know exactly what it is. I'm just running numbers out.
Okay.
I'm saying if it steps up in the Fibonacci levels, I'm going to take percentages: 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. Okay. And then once I have that dry powder, the dry powder is the capital, the money that I have in that, whether it's an exchange or whether it's a broker or whether it's iTrust Capital. Once I have that currency and it retraces, then I can go back into that asset. And the reason why I like iTrust, the IRA, is because I can't touch it. I can't touch it until I'm 59.
Right.
When I'm 59
Right.
and I make those investments, and I know I made good investments as I'm doing my research and I'm learning about this asset class more and more, and me and Randy start looking at the relative strength index, the RSI, and we start trading on that, saying, okay, once it gets to this level, we know that it's oversold or undersold or overbought or whatever. Then once we get versed in that, then we can change up the way that we go by investing. But what I'm talking about now is something that's safe, something that is insured, something that is going to be there when I'm 59 and a half. But let's be real about everything. Whether you have an investment in Fidelity, Charles Schwab, iTrust Capital, the powers to be, if they just determine that they want that shit to go to zero, it'll go to zero. I mean,
so when you have something like iTrust Capital, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump into you. Well, I was just going to say, when you have something like iTrust Capital, where it's locked into 59 and a half, but you want to have liquidity, what kind of place do you have some of your investments at play for liquidity? So if you need them now, you can get them now.
Well, you could take it out at any time. You'll get penalized for it.
Yeah, you can get penalized for it.
Yeah. So you don't want to sit somewhere where you get heavily priced. Where do you have stuff where you can just I can go grab it? That's why we are big on precious metals, because you can just have a safe in your house with precious metals, or if you need to go grab it, you go grab it. You go do what you need to do with it.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, if I want to get liquidity for whatever, and I got precious metals as well, if I want to get liquidity for whatever asset, right now I have Hot Wallets, which is a software wallet. I have Cold Storage Wallet, which is a hardware wallet. And I have some assets on a broker. Crypto broker has access. They get first dibs at the exchanges to get liquidity for their customers. So like say Bitcoin goes up to $75,000 this bull run. So let's say April after the halving in June, okay, it goes up to $175,000. If it goes up to $175,000, there's going to be a lot of people trying to hit the exchanges from their software wallet, from their hardware wallets. And some of those exchanges might go down because of the traffic that is going to those exchanges. You're with a broker like Caleb and Brown, shout out to Caleb and Brown, then you will be able to hit that crypto broker and say, hey, I gave you my sell orders, that once that it reaches that certain percentage, then that USD or whatever fiat currency that you are dealing with, depending upon where you are in the world, it'll be there, and then you can take that dry powder, reinvest, or have it sent to you. Just like if you had it in a software wallet and you were able to make that exchange, make that transaction on the exchange, and say, I got 150,000 XLM, and it went up past its all-time high to $2, and I got it at 5 cents, and I want to take some profit. If I want to sell all of it, and I am able to click that button, and it makes that transaction, I got that transaction because I got my bank account set up to where once I make that transaction, that capital goes to my bank account. I mean, it just depends on how you have things set up. If you're the type of person that leaves your stuff on an exchange, which we do not recommend, do not leave your cryptocurrency tokens on an exchange. You either want it, you want it in your custody with a software, hardware, preferably hardware wallet, or a crypto broker. Then you'll be able to maximize your profits with the liquidity that is provided once you sell it at whatever price point that you want to sell it at.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm the first person. I left my 2 Ethereum on the exchange, a block, because I was getting a percentage, and then for staking, and BlockFi got locked down. So you're right. Do not leave it on the exchange.
Exactly.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to get those 2 Ethereum back. She says no, but I'm fighting for them. But she says no. They're not coming back.
Yeah, I hope you get it back. I ain't gonna lie. I hope you get it back. But I tend to agree with Aaron, because it's an exchange. Those exchanges aren't properly regulated. They aren't properly insured. They are like the average person, or they're like a person who created a token, a meme token, which is in the person that created it, or the people that created it, mine is a rug pull. We got, Pepe or whatever. I'm just using Pepe for an example. I don't know anything about Pepe. It's a meme token, okay? But let's say they pumped that shit up, and it went from in dollar wise, it went from 0.00001 cent to 5 cents. That is a great gain. But if they pumped and it went up to 5 cents and then they shut the whole thing down, you lost. And that's
you couldn't get your money out.
You couldn't get your money out, and it's because it's not regulated. So I know it sounds like I'm a proponent of regulation, and in a sense I am. And the reason why is because when have you known, and let's be honest about everything, when have you known any entity that deals in financial markets to not be regulated, to not have anything to do with the type of agency that is going to say, hey, you can do this, that, and the other, but you can't do this. When you got something that says you can do this, that, and the other, but you can't do this, then the people who have the big money are going to jump into that asset class, because they're saying, hey, it's safe enough for us to mess around with it. Let's do this, that, and the other. Let's invest this amount of capital into it, and then, we'll go from there. So, I was, when I first got into it, I was down with the banks. I was, Bitcoin is going to do this, that, and the other, but it ain't going to shut nothing down, because the people who make markets are not going to allow it to, because that's the world that we live in, and that's reality.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I wish it would go independent like that, but they're not going to let the average man control stuff like that. When in the world has the average man been able to control stuff like that? If it happens, it's only going to happen for a short period of time. The powers that be that pulls the strings are going to make sure that they are back in control, and they make sure that they get what they can get out of it and bleed your ass dry.
So can I ask, I was just going to ask to you, Chief and Randy, about the fact that you're investing in these type of cryptocurrency assets. Department having touched the fire department, what do you feel that you need to give this information to the younger firemen coming up? And is that something that you do? Is it something, or you don't feel? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Do you think that the younger firefighters would have more of a mass adoption?
Well, me being still on the fire department, I do talk to as many people as I can. It's only a select few that even grasp it. A lot of them still in the day-to-day things of life, and they don't really care about it. They just know they got a good job, and that's all they want to do. As far as, do I think they're going to adopt it? I don't know. Sometimes it's just going one ear out the other with these young kids. It's a different generation we talking about anyway. So,
even with the younger kids, that's interesting.
Yeah.
With the rookies,
well,
that's interesting. I thought there might have been more.
I wanted to go back on your I Trust Capital issue about rolling over your 401k into it for a long term. You ain't know if you wanted to do that. You were still on the fence. So I got into it. And the reason why I got into it, I thought about Allen Iverson. So he took his first meal.
The 800,000.
Yeah. And so that's how I looked at it. I was like, what if I do run through this money, being irresponsible, whatever. I know I'm not going to do that, but to always have something to fall back on in my older years, I was like, why wouldn't I put a couple thousand in there? Let it grow, move it around, let it grow, because I'm managing it. And then at 59 and a half, hopefully I'm still breathing up there on earth. But to be able to just go ahead and tap into that, like, okay, I got this 59 and a half money sitting over here. That's the same thing he did.
That's a good way of looking at it.
But a lot of these athletes are deferring their payments to, later on in the future. Ken Griffey Jr. is still on the books for the Reds.
For the Reds, he's still getting paid.
So it's sort of like deferring the profits over until I'm 59 and a half. That's how I look at it.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I'm sorry, not to go off, but we're gonna do it. What you said about Ken Griffey Jr., different people, Bobby Boy on the Mets, like it's crazy. They set it up the way that it should have been set up, where I'm going to get $8 million a year every year
into like perpetuity, right?
Right. So we about to do a show on that because that's real. That's the way it is. Just your mindset. I'm gonna set it up so that I get paid out.
Money. Yeah, when they making the
that
money,
delayed gratification, no.
Houses and stuff, cars, jewelry, and then all of a sudden they run out. And they ain't got nothing to fall back on, and they 50s and 60s. So I mean, it'd be a perfect example for us to, while we're in this cryptocurrency space, to defer some of our profits for the later years. Because what if we don't feel like doing it no more?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
At least we got,
because it's a lot to stay on top of every single day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So yeah, that's why I got into it.
The Ken Griffey Juniors did.
No, that's a good idea, Randy. I like that.
They were smart. They did that shit. They deferred it, and they said, "Okay, you're gonna pay me $1 million per year until this time," and that was smart.
I mean, Ken Griffey, the highest dude on the books for.
You had a question?
No, I didn't have a. My comment honestly doesn't go to none of you all, and that's respect. So don't take that wrong. I just want to talk to the audience to truly understand. If you notice, I haven't said a word. Why? I don't know it. I don't know any of this, but I'm here because I don't know any of this. And Chief No, he brought it up in the conversation last week, chilling, smoking cigars, and all the fellows, all eyes was on him. So my comment is really just to the other people that's watching. Get involved, get smart. Stop just living in this world without knowing. It doesn't make any sense. It didn't cost me anything to sit here and just listen to all these fine people throw all this beautiful education out. And I'm not saying anything because, one, I'm too busy listening. And I just want to just say, everybody, really, I want to give my appreciation, first of all, to you all. But listen, you need to know this stuff. And as a matter of fact, I don't need to know this really just for me. I got 3 sons. I got a granddaughter. Any knowledge I get is going to go straight to them. And then we're going to do like this lovely family is doing. Come together as a family, make some decisions, get on the book so we can start getting generational wealth as you're speaking of, Chief. But I just wanted to say that, you know, because I just think for a minute, listen, just because you don't know, don't use that as an excuse, because you got all these people with all this great knowledge and willing to share it, and not to take it is just, I just think it's utterly foolish to me. So get off the videos, get off the rap songs or whatever other thing you stuck on, and get back into some reality. Get into the game. I just wanted to, so I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes, that's true. That's true. Yep, I got a son, and when he got his job, I said, hey, look, you're gonna invest some money in crypto. I don't care what else you do after that, but at least he got some on the books to say, oh yeah, I got some crypto. He don't even worry about it. Yeah. So just putting them on knowledge and game is the main thing.
Yeah.
That's how it all starts. So
Yeah.
Randy, you may want to, how old's your son?
22.
If you don't mind me asking. He's 20.
22.
Oh, he's Sean's age. Okay. You definitely want to look into the Sun Exchange. I don't know if we've ever talked to you about it.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So the Sun Exchange in South Africa, that's where you purchase either the cells or the whole solar panel. It's a long-term program where you reap the profits in Bitcoin. So Terry, I'm just going to kind of run it down for you. We have 4 sons. They're 22, 16, 13, and 6. And with the Sun Exchange, what we did was South Africa has this program where they sell solar panels. So you can buy the cells in each individual cell. I can't remember. I think there's 77 cells or something like that make up one panel. So you can buy individual cells or you can buy a whole panel. Obviously, a whole panel is going to be a significant investment, right? Yeah. And what they do is they place the solar panels so they get over 3 days of sun. They put the solar panels on nursing homes. Sean has a nursing home. Schools. I think Tino has something like that. Commercial supermarkets, stuff like that. And you know that they're saving money off the grid, right? Because they're generating solar power. You get paid the difference in Bitcoin. So when we talk, it's 18, 20. It's a 20-year investment. So it's perfect for your grandbaby.
But you can cash out any day you want.
Yeah, you can cash out whenever, but the idea, because we know that delayed gratification has the highest compensation, right? Copywritten, y'all don't copy me. So that would be a great investment for your grandbaby, especially because she's so young. Now, it's good for anybody, but we really kind of talk to people who have children, especially by the time, Randy, your son is our age, he can cash out and it's going to be a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Right. And it's something that you guys started. Each child here in the house has a panel. Sean's working on panel 2 because he's got his own job. So now he can buy his own cells. Now, can he do the whole like mom and dad? No. But just cell by cell by cell. And it's a good exercise, Terry. Obviously, when the grandbaby is not a grandbaby, she's a grown woman. Yeah. But it's a great exercise when they first get their job where they pay themselves first. And it's like, hey, you got your bonus or however they get paid, go ahead and get you another cell. And just kind of building. So those are what we call our family endeavor projects. That's what we have here. Another way for you to get involved, Terry, do you mind me asking how are your sons grown?
38, 37, 35. No, 38.
Okay.
36,
and it's only 35. A grandbaby.
Yeah, 8. She's 8.
Okay. Oh, she's 8. Does she have a cell phone? I'm sure she does. When you get a chance, you want to download S-Miles. It's a blue app. It looks like a blue Cash App sign, but it's a Blue app, and grandbaby girl can earn Satoshis from activity, from walking, right? So if she does, you earn about 1 Satoshi per 1,000 or so steps. So I do about 20 to 25,000 steps a day. We earn about 20 to 25 free Satoshis, but all of the kids do it. They play basketball, they, work out and do all of the stuff that you expect teenagers to do. The 6-year-old, he doesn't have a cell phone, so he's not in on it. But the other 3 have their S-Miles downloaded. They make sure they have it with them when they go to basketball practice. They make sure they have their phone on them when they go for runs. But baby girl's 8 years old. I'm sure she's uber duper energetic. And I know that cell phone probably don't leave that child's body. So if she puts her phone in her pocket, she can earn Satoshis every single day. Now, I hear what you're saying. 100 million Satoshis make 1 Bitcoin. And it feels like a lot. But Max Kaiser and a few other of the big timers in the Bitcoin game, they have forecasted what we call parity with the US dollar.
That's, and I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but exactly, parity with US dollar, which each Satoshi is worth $1. So what you want to do is you want to stack up your Satoshi so that you have them. And when there's crisis, because it's going to be a crisis.
It's going to be an economic winter.
Yeah, it's going to be winter's coming, but you will have $1 for each Satoshi. And if you would just earn a Satoshi by walking, we talk about other things, Fold, by Lolly, by buying.
Yeah, buying. But I'm just giving him, because this is for, it feels like she's 8 and how could she get in on investing? This is how we start them off. And she's going to be able to understand at some point, because we're educators, we homeschool our children and stuff. It's a great real world application for her to understand that there is an energetic investment in order to earn finances. Right? Just like we get up, we go to work, there's an energetic component to that. There's an energy component to that. She can understand, okay, well, I don't have money to invest, but I'm going to invest my time and labor, which would be walking for her. She's 8. She's walking, she's running, she's jumping, she's doing double dutch. I don't even know if the kids do double dutch, but her activity every day, little by little, she's going to be stockpiling those to take week by week, month by month, year by year, and you get where I'm going with that. And it's a great real world application for her to begin to understand investments at 8. In the Black community, for the audience members, for whatever reason, we don't have these conversations with our children. I know when I introduced us, I talked about us being the first family of Bitcoin. Everything we do is family centered. Our children, even at 6 years old, he's autistic, but he's highly functioning. We find ways to give them that real world application so they can understand wealth, so they can understand investment, so they can understand economic labor, so they can understand time theft, so they can understand all the things that they need to in order to build that wealth mindset. And you can reach out to us anytime, Terry. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Can I go back to the panel? How much is a sale? And how much is the panel?
Oh, the sales, well, it changes over time and it depends on the project. So what you're going to definitely want to do, like obviously a nursing home is going to cost more because the commercial property is bigger than the daycare. So we'll get you the information for the Sun Exchange. You're going to get a report every month.
Every month? You
get a report every month on the earnings. So that way you can keep track of it. I'm going to send it to Grizz, and Grizz will send it to you.
And just to say, you're going to purchase these cells or the whole panel in the, is it the Rand? Yeah. So
in the Rand, yeah.
South African Rand. And you're going to purchase that, and you'll see the cross, how it's changed over to the dollar. So it changes, like she said.
The conversion.
Yeah, the conversion changes, but you're going to be paying in the South African Rand.
Okay.
I did forget that part.
Ballpark. Just a ballpark.
Well, the only reason why I didn't want to give you the ballpark is because we did that how many years ago? And each project changes, so it just depends on the project. Like, I don't want to give you a ballpark, and then you look at a project, and you're like, "Holy macaroni, this ain't nothing what she said."
Yeah, okay.
So, I'm gonna send you the link though, so you can look at the projects.
Okay, thank you.
And also they will give you about a 60 to 70 page talking about what the project is, so that you can understand what the project is. And if you feel like you don't want to invest in this type of project, you can go into another type of project. But they give you a PDF you can download, you can read,
and it'll have the cell. This is how much the cell costs. This is how much the panels cost. And each project obviously will be different. The returns will also be a little bit different too. So we're going to send you the information. That way you can start looking at them and see what you would like to do with the kids, with the boys, because they're grown. They can buy their own stuff. But yeah, but maybe you might want to buy it for baby girl, right? So we'll send you the stuff, and that way you can decide how y'all want to do that. But for sure, get a chance, just write down S-Miles and have baby girl go to the Google Play Store and download it on her phone, unless you got an iPhone.
And yes, sir, Terry, everybody, all your family, everybody.
Yeah, the boys can do it too. Yeah, they go into work.
Yeah.
They go on a workout. They go to the gym. They go, the firefighters, they used to run on the treadmills and stuff, run before work. Whatever type of activity your family's involved in, but especially the 8-year-old, that's who we really want to catch. The 8-year-old, the young lady. Yes. So that we can just start developing her mindset. One of the things out on our show is that, and everybody should know this by now, is you have what they call profiles. The FBI uses profiles in order to catch their predators and their serial killers and so on and so forth. And when you start looking at those profiles are extremely accurate, down to the T. Mm-hmm. So in that same breath, the wealth mindset and the poverty mindset, they're very specific profiles. And we do, unfortunately, in between, because when we're growing up, what do? We learn money blocks from our parents. How do they deal with scarcity? How do they deal with lack? Are they financially responsible? Do they have financial discipline? How do they react and respond to their environment when money is short or tight or abundant? Right? Do you have a family who has lots of money and they just go, ain't got no budget, we buy whatever we want? All of those things develop the mindset of the children. And for whatever reason, adults have this thing where they think children don't know what's going on, but children are very in tune with their environment and they pick these things up along the way. So baby girl is in what we call, she's just now coming out of the developmental stage as far as how the brain processes its environment. Yeah. This is the perfect time to sit down with her and talk to her about money, budgeting, managing a household. She's not too young to learn, right? She's too young to have to do it herself, but she's not too young to learn it. Yeah. So the first thing you really do want to do is when you see her again, definitely do the S-Miles and go through it with her.
And like she just said, she's coming out of what they would call in neuroscience theta. So that's the most developmental stage that you're in as a child. She's just coming out of theta. So this is a perfect time.
She's like a ripe fruit. Yeah. And I'm telling you, by the time she's 18, you're going to be like, man, you are an incredible woman because you caught her at the right time and you developed the mindset, the right mindset. And she's not having to grow up and unprogram and de-learn and unlearn and relearn. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about that family aspect, Chief has the babies 2 or 3. How old is Santana?
3.
He's 3. So, Chief's going to blink. He's going to be 7. He's going to have his own cell phone. And you got to get them going. It's a free way for you to participate in one of the greatest, highest assets of all time. Gotcha. Even children can get involved.
Thank you.
And
Both of them.
You're so
Well, I
welcome, Terry, anytime.
And what I want to do now is bring this to an end because we've been on for over an hour and a half. I want to thank Simon Family Investments for joining us live. This is Cigars and Crypto. I'm your host, The Chief. I appreciate you guys tuning in. What I want you to do is like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And it's in the link, or you should see it on your screen. If you don't see it, my YouTube channel is, one second, sorry about that. My
No worries.
is at The Chief LLC. So it's THA Chief CHIEF LLC. Okay. And that's on YouTube. I plan on doing this once a week so that we can get our people up to speed, or try to get as many people up to speed as we can, because the common man doesn't get opportunities like this to where the common person can front run an industry. Right now with the crypto industry, the average person is front running it. When the banks and the big investors and the home offices get in, then they gonna really start to drive it. Right now we're driving, and while we're driving, we want to be able to get as many people on as we can. Over the entire planet, there is about anywhere between 4.5% to 5% of the people on the planet that are investing in cryptocurrency as a whole, whether it's a meme token or a token that has a value like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM, the ISO 20,022 tokens. Whatever you do, make sure that you do your research, make sure that you learn about it, and make sure that you don't invest more that you can handle. Don't put yourself in a bind. But with that being said, I would like to thank Simon Family Investments again. I want to thank Randy, and I want to thank Terry for joining me. This is my first live. I'm going to be going live at least anywhere between 2 to 3 times a month. And then I also am going to do a cooking show as well. It's going to be called Grilling with Grizz, to where I cook and we talk about the recipes. A lot of the recipes that I have is going to be made up because it's just like art. Whatever tastes good, whatever I've cooked and people like, I'm going to cook it. And then you guys can, learn about cooking if you're not, into cooking, or, you can just enjoy that social networking. But with that being said, we're at the hour and 42 minute mark. I am going to end it because we have to get out of this space. But thank you very much for joining us. And until next time,
I'm gonna put my Cash App in there for you guys. So if you felt like dropping me off something, showing up. No, I'm joking, man.
That's all right, because my Cash App is already in there. So hit both of the Cash Apps. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, always remember, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. If it's not your keys, which is an alphanumeric code, it's not your cheese. Thank you for joining me, and I'll holler at you. Peace.
Buenas noches.
Buenas. Salud.
Is that late? Well, go to Oxford until you fucking